Welcome to the marketing session about innovation. I love innovation because innovation, for this you need a lot of creativity. That means your 1.5 kilogram of your brain. And of course, you need also passion. You need your heart for invent new things. It is not that complicated that it seems. One of my hobbies is traveling. And when I am traveling around the world, in many continents, especially in Asia, I see always the same phenomenon. And do you know what kind of phenomenon? It is the copycat case. What does it mean, copycat? The copycat means that if I go there in the street, you can see that the neighbor is doing the same as the first shop is doing, and neighbor's neighbor is doing the same. The whole street is producing the same articles, products or services, or they are selling the same. And this can be a street, a road, this can be an entire village. There is, for example, a village in Vietnam where people are specialized to produce money safes. But the problem is, for these money safes, all of them are producing it more or less on the same production processes. They have the same marketing processes, and therefore there is no real differentiation. And if a customer wants to buy money safes, he goes in this village, and where will he buy? Of course, at that shop or at that company, they give him the lowest price. The only differentiation there is the price. And this is a problem if only the price is the differentiation. You remember, same, but different. At the end of the day, the supplier, the producer of this money safe is not happy because he had to reduce the price. That means he had to reduce the profit margin, and probably due to the huge competition in this village, the profit margin was already small and now it's smaller again, and therefore not very happy. Copycat. This is not innovation. You have to be different to differentiate. Do you remember in one of my videos we were speaking about the Porter curve from Professor Porter? It's stuck in the middle. You know, here with a lot of different, a lot of competition, and therefore the market is not very interesting regarding the profit, the income. And it's better to go in a differentiation model. That means you have to be different from your customers. And therefore, we need not to be a copycat. We need to be innovative. We have to be creative to make our product or our service in a added value manner or way different from competition's products and services. How can we do this? I will show you later on a tool how we can do this. First of all, I would like to bring you some examples to open the mindset, to get a think out of the box thinking regarding our topic innovation. Professor Piech, he was the former CEO and later the president of the board of the Volkswagen Group. He is an innovation professor and he had a very good saying. He said, innovation is always a risk, but no innovation is the death of a company. Therefore, you have to be innovative. That if you want to have a sustainable development of your company, you have always to do some innovations to differ from your competition. First of all, you have to know what is the core benefit for your customers. And then you can have a look, how can I adjust this benefit? How can I make it more accessible for other people, for other customers too? And this will be in the second part of this video, the part of the tool. Professor Piech had a very good approach to go through the process of innovation and to look on other fields. That means in your handout you have this from Professor Piech. That means that you can have to not only focus on the product itself, not make it faster, make it smaller, make it more efficient, make it cheaper. No, you have to look the entire marketing mix model. Not only product itself, all the marketing mix instruments. Where can we adjust? Where can we invent something? Where can we increase the benefit? Where can we create a new benefit, for example? And this is the thinking and the mindset which is necessary for innovation. Think out of the box. When I have a marketing innovation workshop in Switzerland, Austria, Germany for companies, then the employees of these companies always starts with how can we make the product faster, smaller, more efficient. This is the wrong way to think. We have to look the entire offer from the company to their customers and have to look, and on this checklist from Professor Piech you will see different ways. I want to give you an example with a pig farmer. This pig farmer is living in my village, and in our area there are a lot of other pig farmers, and most of them, they do the pig farming in the same way, more or less, a little bit more machines than like their fathers. And they sell it all the time to wholesalers and agents. And they will sell the meat or the pigs to big butcher companies, and they sell it to supermarket chains. The customers of the pig farmers are wholesalers or agents. And they come to the farm and buy the pigs. This is quite normal how the life of a pig farmer is. Farming pigs and selling to wholesalers. And one of these farmers living in my village, he said, I have to be different. I have to think out of the box. I have to change something in my production, in my processes, everything but relating to the pig farming. And what he did said, I do not want to sell anymore only living pigs. I want to have more participation on the supply chain of the whole pig. I want also to produce pork and pork products. Therefore, he employed a professional butcher, so he can slaughter the pigs by themselves, and they can produce also sausages, chocolates, and meat which they sell to other channels now. And he had another investment to do. Next to the stuff, the butcher, he had also to do an investment in a house, in a cold store house, that he can store the sausages, because he was no need before, because he had only living pigs. And then he said, okay, I changed the product. This was the innovation in product. Make something new. Then he said, I need innovation in product methods. And I said, I have 1,700 pigs, and they are more or less industrialized farming. And I said, I want to change to organic pig farming. And he had to reduce, therefore, the 1,700 pigs to 800 pigs, because organic farming requires more space for the animals in the stall. Therefore, he had to reduce it. On the other hand side, he was sure organic is important, but I need also products. And he developed a new product. It was called dry-aged pork. Up to there was only known dry-aged beef. But for pork was normally not dried. Therefore, He was one of the first one, had also some fails, but after a long time, he was successful and he had a very good product for premium pork meat. And therefore, he had also new sales channels. His innovation in sales channels was that he didn't do it the same like all the neighbors selling to wholesalers and agents. He said, no, I go directly to premium restaurants. I also will sell it to consumers on food markets. And I will also open a shop for my meat, for my pork meat and sausages and other products. And during the Corona crisis, he even established a takeaway or a home delivery service for pork meat. Another innovation was done with a supplier in a contracting. It was very difficult to get organic piglets, the little pigs. And to get these piglets, he had an agreement, he had a contract with a sustainable producer of these piglets. And so he was the only one getting that and was secure to have all the time raw material. In the advertisement and in the communication, he had also to go new ways because he had no advertisement or advertising before, because these wholesalers came and he had personal sales. It was the only thing communication he had with them and to the agents. But now he wanted to enter markets in upper class and high quality restaurants. And these premium restaurants he had to reach, but he had not a big marketing budget. Therefore, his biggest tool and his biggest instrument or weapon was word of mouth marketing. That means when he had a customer who was satisfied, he asked him to be a testimonial and to recommend him to other restaurants, and they did it. And maybe they get also some samples for free. And he also worked with samples for free for chefs in the premium restaurant, that they could use first time this dry aged beef, dry aged pork, because it was new for them. And with free samples, after that, they were happy and said, okay, I will frequently order this now from now on. And he was also doing Facebook, online social media advertising, because from now on he had also to reach the customers, consumers in his region. Therefore, it was quite a new way for him, because he was a normal pig farmer, and now he has a really big company made out of this. And in the environment, he had also an innovation. He was probably the biggest one, having a biogas plant for these 800 pigs to produce their own energy. Now you can see even a pig farmer can be very innovative when he takes his 1.5 kilograms, have good ideas. There are also ideas, I have to say, were failed, but some of these ideas, they were a success, and he is very successful now with that. As I already said, I want to change now to the tool. I want to explain you this tool. You have this tool in your handout. You see this ERC Grid. The ERC Grid is a matrix of 4 quadrants. And we start with the eliminate. That means, first of all, we have to look on the product and see, or service, and see, and to ask the customers, where is the core benefit? What's the benefit for you? Why do you appreciate my product or service? Do you remember? This is the diamond, the value. What's the value for you with my product? And then we can look, can we eliminate a little bit of this value to get other customers? What should be eliminated? I want to bring you an example. I share an example with you from Switzerland. If I ask you, in what kind of hotel you would like to go? You would like to go in a 2-star hotel or in a 5-star hotel? Most of people would say, If you paid, I would prefer the 5-star hotel, because 5-star is probably swimming pools, elevator, everything what you need. It's luxury. That means the more stars you have, the more comfort, the more benefit, the more value the customer has. This is in the thinking of people. The more, the more. But there are also people thinking in the other way, in the other direction. Two Swiss guys had a very good idea, clever idea. They said, we know there are 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star hotels. But there are no 0-star hotels. Why 0-star? Because zero is below 1 and 1 is the lowest. Why lower than low? Okay. They said we are the only one having a 0-star hotel. What did they do? They rented from the military former nuclear bunker, a shelter, for protection against nuclear attacks. And this is probably was a former military institution. You can imagine there is no comfort. It's only green, and they took in a standard, very cheap bed. But there is no luxury, nothing. But they made promotion that, do you want to sleep in a 0-star hotel? And do you believe me? There are people, not crazy people, but there are people, they said, I want to sleep there, because then they make pictures, send it the social media. I was sleeping in a selfie, you will see I am sleeping in a 0-star hotel. And they really eliminated any kind of luxury and got a new target group which was prepared to sleep in this former nuclear shelter. If we look, what can we reduce? I want to come again back to an example which is in Austria, very famous. In Austria, we had a chocolate sweet, which is called Mozart balls. It's from the former composer Mozart, and it was only produced handmade in small confectionery shops and were sold there. It was sold in Austria to rich tourists from America, Japan, China, and Germany mainly. They bought it because it was very expensive. Austrians didn't buy it. And this was really delicious, but expensive, and only small, limited quantities. Then there was coming a very clever guy from Germany, from our neighbor country. And he saw this and said, oh, I want to do it in another way. I want, first of all, not make it handmade, no handcraft. We produce it with machines. We make in a standardized job to make mass production and to reduce the cost. His idea was to reduce the cost of production, and for this quantity I need new channels. And he said, I have an idea. I will make it cheaper and will give it as a benefit to rich people living outside or being outside of Austria, but which are frequent flyers. That means they are in the airports. And therefore he had a new channel, all the duty-free shops on the airports around the world. And this was a mass market. And his product was looking better. It was cheaper. It was other ingredients, and it was in another way. And nowadays, I have to say, it's a shame for Austria, but the most Mozart balls Austrian Mozart balls are made in Germany from a German and sold worldwide. But he had a good idea. If we want to raise something, I come back to the example, the case of the pig farmer. As I already mentioned, he had 1,700 pigs, and he decided to go an organic way. That means organic farming and reducing the quantity of the pigs from 1,700 to 800 pigs. And he was aware of a worldwide megatrend called sustainability. people, they like it to go bio in direction to organic food. And there is a second mega trend in the world called health. People are prepared to spend more money for their health. They take care of their health more and more, especially in the Western world. It's coming more and more. And he is aware of these two mega trends and knows that people pay more money. Therefore, his organic pigs and the pork meat costs 30% more than the standard pork meat, but it's more healthy because they got the better food, they got the better conditions for growing up, and also the better treatment for during the slaughtering process. And therefore, it's a better and more healthy food. And people are are prepared to paying it for health and wealth. And he raised the understanding for organic and health food. The last example is what should be created. I want to share with you a very funny example from Switzerland. In Switzerland, there was a company producing instant coffee. Instant coffee is this coffee you only have to fill hot water in it and then you got the finished coffee. But this market is a decreasing market. Why? Because consumers for this old style traditional coffee are very old. Therefore, the market is getting smaller year by year. And the company had to think about new markets and new customers because in Switzerland, the market was dramatically decreasing. And therefore, they looked at a market where people had hot water. That means, which was a tea culture before, and is not only now already a coffee culture, it's still a tea culture. And they observed the world, and they saw it's Russia. Russian people, they like to have the whole day tea, and therefore they have a hot water pot running a whole day. It's called samovar, and they can let out get there the hot water, and they can use it also for instant coffee. But Russia has 145 million inhabitants. It's a too big market to reach all these citizens or to take these as a target group. Therefore, the Swiss company decided we have to focus on a specific target group. And do you know which kind of target group they decided for? They decided for a target group called New Rich Russians. These are Russian people getting rich during the last years and having jewelries and expensive watches, luxury sports cars, big apartments. They have also expensive food, and they only want to boast their richness. They want to show you, I am rich. These kind of people is the target group. I want to show I am rich. And also with food. And therefore, how can you create food to show I am rich? Or coffee. They tried it with coffee. They said, we take, first of all, we take an ingredient which shows that you are rich. It's gold. They did 24 karat of gold in the coffee, in the instant coffee. This is gold you can eat. It's no problem to eat. Then they reduced the package size to 100 gram only. This is a bottle, a glass bottle, a very luxury one. It looks like an expensive perfume bottle. Then the communication. The communication for this product was saying it's a Swiss-made product with Japanese philosophy. In the mind of Russian people, Swiss and Japanese are quite the highest standard of quality. And the fourth marketing mix tool here I want to mention was the price. The price for 100 gram is $39 US. Very, very expensive. And you see, all these marketing mix instruments were adjusted. They were really created for a new benefit, to show I'm rich, to this specific target group, rich Russians. And this was something I have never had before, and sell it to Russia with success. I mentioned the sentence of Mr. Piech. He said, innovation is always a risk, but no innovation is the death of the company. Therefore, I hope I could give you with this tool, and also the ideas from the cases before, some impression about innovation. To be, on the other hand side, creative with 1.5 kilograms, and on the other hand side, to be also with your heart, with your passion, on the risky side, to try it. Otherwise, you will not see it if it's successful or not. Please give this message and the tool to your mentees, and I wish you good success with this tool on the very important topic of innovation. Thank you very much, and goodbye.